I kind of missed the videos, but I didn't. And I certainly didn't miss social media. And I ended up on it twice accidentally because I was looking for a website on Google, and I clicked the word website and ended up on Facebook. But never mind. It's been an interesting week of reflections. So much stuff has happened and so much stuff hasn't. Such is life, eh? I've been looking at becoming more of the witness, because that means observing myself more as a third person, if you like, as if I'm watching a movie. Because I've noticed that one of the reasons why I needed that time out was because I had gone from being okay and being buzzing and having this feeling that just didn't go away of pretty much bliss, to being knocked for six, and as things, when we are under threat or something happens where our, maybe not so much our livelihood, but where we've received something that's threatened our existence as it was, you know. And I know it sounds rather dramatic, but to our system, it doesn't discriminate, and a threat is a threat. So a debt letter, a dinosaur, getting nearly run over by a car, someone coming into your space and going through it, all of these things are threats, and our system sees it as such. And when our system sees a threat, it goes into fight, flight, freeze and fawn. And I'd gone into fight. I'd gone into the angry bit, and I'd acknowledged the anger, but I'd also found that not only was I angry, I was also battening up the hatches, trying to stop it ever happening again, feeling really sorry for myself, feeling really knocked in self-confidence, my what I thought about other people and humanity, and trying to think of how to continue doing what I do and safely. And this isn't the first time I've ever had to go through that. Been through that many times in my life in serving other people, because before I knew true service, I was always so caught up with trying to help from my own perspective that I landed myself in so much bother, and being taken advantage of over the years. It's just crazy. But each time brought me the grace and lessons, and slowly I established boundaries. So what you saw was me shutting up shop kind of thing, and taking stock and finding out how to enable safety and presence in a world which can seem unsafe, and where very often we don't want to be present. So yeah, I mean, how the hell do you gift yourself to the world with presence when you're too scared to put yourself out there? It's something that we have to think about. Being spiritual doesn't mean that you've got to be soft. And we all have roles which we take on in life. Mother, sister, brother, aunt, uncle, grandparent, person at a cash till, banker, taxman, childcarer, teacher, you know, all these different roles that we could have just one person, has many, many, many roles. So it's knowing that it's knowing how to play the game and do the role without being exploited. So it's not about doing what you assume, you know, is right for that role, that title, but it's doing what's right for the highest good and not being taken the mickey out of. So it's finding the balance between your truth, how you play the game, and how not to be exploited or exploit others, because it's two-way, it's a transaction. So whenever you're doing anything, whether it's working in the garden, taking care of the land, looking after someone else, you know, going shopping, it's finding the balance where maybe you can be the gardener without bringing damage and leaving a long-term impact where you've destroyed the ground which you've been tilling, you know, or going shopping and being the shopper without upsetting folk and leaving a light footprint where you've shopped, you know. Maybe even finding time out of your day to leave a review and give compliments to people like the staff and the supermarket or wherever, you know, because it's nice to share the love. So it's all about finding balance and not being rude and trying to accept that we're all human beings who are human doing as humans do from our level of consciousness, which is often very varied. There's that many of us and we're all at different levels of consciousness. Some of us similar, some of us as far from the other person, some of us are great in levels of awareness on one part of our life and terrible in others, you know. I'm good at some things, I'm really need to do a lot of work on other things. So it's finding the balance and finding a way of living your truth without being taken the mickey out of or taken advantage of, and without taking advantage of others. So it's finding a way to live in balance, which another word would be say with aini, with reciprocity for those about us. So yeah, that's mainly what I've been doing this last week. I've been trying to find the balance. I've been looking at how do I serve from a safe perspective, you know. How can I live with a whole heart safely? And I turned to Ram Dass and Maharajji. This morning I woke up singing K.Sha, and it was like a chant, and I could hear Krishna Das singing K.Sha in like a chant. I thought, what's going on? Like, where's this coming from? I guess I've got to look it up. So I did. And I looked up K.Sha and Krishna Das. And I found a really amazing chat between Krishna Das, K.Sha, and Raghu Marcus. And it was amazing how they were talking about how K.Sha loved everyone with a full heart. he loyally served Maharajji, and he loyally served Ram Dass under instruction from Maharajji. And he fed everyone. He was known for feeding everyone vast amounts of food, more food than a person would imagine is even edible. And sometimes it wasn't edible. I'd imagine there was many food comas going on back in those days. And it was really interesting to hear how he managed to love, serve and feed people and spend his life doing it. And it's been very inspirational to hear the stories of that and to feel the love that was shared from all those who visited K.Sha and his sister. So grateful to Ram Dass, Krishna Das, Maharajji, who keeps showing up and showing me the way home. They show you how to be safe, how to love, how to open yourself up, and how to polish the mirror to get yourself back to a way of being instead of doing, which is kind of where we get caught up. Some news for you guys out there: Bear enjoys Krishna Das. He loves lying down and listening to Krishna Das and the chants and stuff. So yes, Bear is into all sorts of chants, including the Hanuman Chalisa, which is a blessing because then I get some peace too. It's had a break in the rain, which is a blessing for walk time. But Elsa and Batty are snug at home with the fire, and me and the bear doing our morning walk. At this time we found an even longer walk, which helps him in some way, where it doesn't fill all his needs, but it does help more by having an hour twice a day, as well as lots of bits of training throughout the day and other small walks. So yes, it's a moody blue sky over one way, and this way you can see bits of blue popping through, and it's beautiful. This morning was misty, and me and Bear was just out wandering. There was slight dots of rain, and it was just so beautiful. So beautiful. Even saw a human on our walk this morning, which is a rare thing. And it was the usual bon dia and that big smiles as we walked past. Bear was well behaved, non-reactive as we wandered past. There may be a dog start barking shortly, because as we pass this little cottage, there's two dogs that guard there, and Bear's non-reactive with those two. He usually just wanders past. So yes, it's given me a week to think and be with myself. I've spent a lot of it cleaning still and trying to get things in order, which I've done a considerable amount of, internally and externally. So Creative Roots is looking much better now. Come on, you know we don't go up there, that's better. We go this way. So what else is there to say? Yes, tomorrow we hold our first event at Creative Roots. It's a Reiki, art Reiki session followed by a letting go ceremony, and there's been a slight alteration because I received some sad news that a friend has passed. So they've transitioned, they made the transition the last day or two, and it's been requested that we have a little something in remembrance of our friend Janine. Janine came to my life and she came to visit, and she was with me last Christmas, and it was beautiful to meet her, and we kind of stayed in touch, and we had a lot in common, and we had a deep respect for one another. So it'll be an honour to remember Janine tomorrow, and to do something that I'm not quite sure quite what, but we are going to do something very special to honour her transition. And as Maharajji says, no one goes a minute too soon or late, and we all got the perfect time. If it's not your time, you just won't go.